I impulsively cut my hair last night. So like, besties, be honest, does it look weird? I YouTube tutorial cut my hair. Honestly, tell me, how does the back look? I felt weird about the back last night and like I kind of trimmed it up a little bit. Like, be brutally honest with me in the comments. Does the back look weird? I feel like the back might look choppy. To give myself like some layers and a little bit more face frame action. And I like it. I like the length. I think it's cute. It looks shorter, but not a lot. And it's got more layers in it. My salon is booked out till November, but I wouldn't be able to get my hair cut until beginning of November. And my ends were dead as hell. And I was tired with how long my hair was. It was to the point where it was long enough that it was annoying. So I was like, you know, we're gonna YouTube tutorial it. So this is what happened. My hair is not the point of this video. Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name's Allie. If you're new here, hello. If you're returning, welcome back. I appreciate you. Thank you for being here. The boys also say hi. If you didn't watch last week's vlog, I got another kitten. A lot of you recently have been asking me to do more reading vlogs, which I will gladly do for you. That's what we're doing here today. A few weeks ago, I will tag the video. I did a book haul in which I got Night Circus. A lot of you wanted specifically a reading vlog of Night Circus because it's a lot of your guys' favorite books. That is what we're going to be doing. I'm going to be reading vlogging Night Circus with you guys. All that jazz that makes a reading vlog, what a reading vlog is. I will say, I don't know that much about this book. I know it's magic circus thing. My one concern with this book, and the only reason that like I've been putting it off and like honestly me vlogging this is probably what's going to make me read it, is I feel like this is gonna have Caravel vibes. I wasn't the biggest fan of Caravel. I read the first book and nothing after that. Like, it was kind of confusing to me. I wasn't necessarily a fan of the plot line. Like, I don't know if I wasn't in the mood for it or I genuinely didn't like it, but like, I read the first book and had no interest in reading the rest of it. But I'm worried that this is gonna give me Caravel vibes and I'm not gonna like it. Atlas, sir. Little man is making noise. We're gonna start reading and I will see you guys in a little bit with an update. I haven't even really made it to my couch to sit down. Part 1, I like the quote at the beginning. A dreamer is one who can only find his way by moonlight. His punishment is that he sees the dawn before the rest of the world. Oscar Wilde. I like that. That has nothing to do with the story so far. I'm confused. So we're meeting Celia. Oh, I was confused. I was like, is she an orphan that somebody dropped him off with? Or is she like legitimately his daughter? But it says obviously his own daughter, that her name is Celia. I don't know why I was confused by that. For some reason I was just like, oh, that somebody just dropped an orphan off at their place. But what happened to her mom then? Where's her mother? Hector's kind of a wet blanket. I cannot approve of such expeditions. Passing off manipulation as tricks and illusion, charging admission. Lighten up, man. Loosen up your necktie. Why do you care? We just got to the scene where Celia got bonded with the ring. So is it just two grown men that like want to prove they're better magician teachers? Like, what are they gaining out of this? Are they gaining the circus or just like bragging rights? I'm kind of confused about what they're fighting over, I guess. My man's just offing birds in front of children. You just break a bird's neck for funsies? She literally said you could fix it and you're like, you'll learn better? Don't be a dick. Don't be a dick, circus dad. You're a pretty shitty circus dad. Why are you just murdering birds in front of your small child? Well, now we're just cutting her fingers open, so why are we just slicing her fingers open now? She needs those. You can't just, like, poke her with a needle? If you really feel the need to hurt her, you don't need to just slice her fingers open. Jesus Christ. And then she's just hiding behind stage crying. I really hope that she kills this man. That she's like, I've seen the light, my father sucks, I'm gonna kill him. I would love that. Please kill your father, Celia. I'm kind of confused. So we just met Isabel, I'm pretty sure her name is. Is Isabel Celia or is Isabel her own character? Because there's the whole thing with Celia and her dad when she meets the man in the gray suit and she's like, oh, you said his name, that's not his real name. And her dad was like, oh, there's power in names or whatever. Isabel like hesitated when Marco asked her name and she was like, Isabel, like she made it up. Are they the same people or are they separate characters? I'm kind of confused. I think they're separate characters, but that whole like blood names thing earlier kind of, I'm confused. And now we're just smashing Celia's hands and telling her to stop crying. How about you smash your own hand, sir? You smash your own hand and just make her heal you. You don't need to hurt her, just hurt yourself, dick dad. I don't know how I feel about Bailey. We just met Bailey where he sneaks into the circus and meets the girl with the red hair, and like she gives him a glove, and she was like, "Oh, you're welcome, Bailey." And he's like, "I never told this lady my name." Which one of them should I be scared of? I feel like one of them is not a good person. I feel like one of them might have ill intent. I don't trust these people. They are not the same person. Isabel and Celia, I have confirmed, are not the same person. He just met Celia, and he's like weirdly kind of sort of dating Isabel, so they're not the same person. I cleared that up for myself. I have an academic brain. So we're at the scene where Bailey is a little bit older and he wants to go to college and his family wants him to stay at the farm. I really like this quote where he's talking to his grandma and his grandma's trying to convince him to just do what he wants to do. "It would not have been my choice for her, but a child should not have their choices dictated for them. I have listened to you read books aloud to your cats. When you were 5 years old, you turned a laundry tub into a pirate ship and launched an attack against the hydrangeas in my garden. Do not try to convince me that you would choose that farm." We stan his grandma. I love her. We're with Bailey and he sees a figure on a platform does not move. Bailey almost thinks of the statue dressed in white gown, edged in matching fur that cascades beyond the platform into the ground. Her hair, skin, even her eyelashes are icy white. But she moves very, very slowly, so slowly that Bailey cannot pinpoint exact movements, only slight changes. But it's a memoriam. I also don't trust this weird moving memoriam statue. I don't trust anyone in this book. I'm scared. Is Isabel also bonded to somebody? Because we're at the scene where, like, he and Isabel have kind of, like, gone their own separate ways and they see each other again. "What is that?" Marco asks, glancing down at Isabel's wrist. "Nothing," she says, pulling the cuff of her sleeve down to obscure his view of the bracelet, a carefully woven braid of her hair entwined with his. He does not inquire further, though Isabel never takes the bracelet off. It is gone when she returns to the circus this evening, vanished from her skin, though it has never been there. Is she just, like, weird and obsessed with him and is like, "Oh, I love you"? Is that a bonding thing or just like a weird "I'm in love with you" thing? I don't trust her. I don't trust anyone. The only person I trust is Celia. So Celia better be the good person or else anything I think about everyone for the rest of my life is wrong. I don't understand the dynamic of Marco and Isabel because she's like, "Oh, I miss you, but like we can't be together, but like blah." And it's like, isn't he also like, from what I know of this book, isn't he supposed to be like endgame with Celia? So is she just like weirdly obsessed with him and he's just kind of like, okay, and then meets Celia and is like, "Never mind, I don't like you anymore," which kind of makes him a dick? Understand their dynamic, and I still don't trust her. For whatever reason, she makes me nervous. She scares me a little bit because I know she has some sort of magic, and I don't think she's gonna like the idea of him liking Celia. I don't trust her. 3 seconds later, I just read the next paragraph. She was doing her tarot things. She pulls the angel card. She says the angel emblazoned on the front is only a confirmation of what she already suspects. She does not return it to the deck. What does that mean, Isabel? Who, what, where, when, why, how, baby? Tell me. Isabel, this is a message for Isabel and Isabel only. If you're not Isabel, I don't want your response. Why? The scene is just oddly funny. She's at like the carnival dinner, and this is like one of the first times that she like interacts with Marco. They're at a dinner and they're talking about how proper Celia is. They were like, "Oh, we'll have to loosen your corset so that you can be more fun," basically. And she said, "I expected the corset unlacing would take place after dinner." And like everybody starts laughing. I don't know how to say his name. Chandrish. In my head, that's what it is. Chandrish. But that might not actually be what it is. But Chandrish, he says, "We shall be keeping Miss Boehm as intimate company regardless of her state of her corset. Make the note of that." And then Marco says, "Miss Bowen's corset is duly noted, sir." And then it says Marco catches Celia's glance with a hint of a smile from earlier before he turns away. And that's like their first interaction, and it was funny, and it was cute, and I'm living. We're in my kitchen because I'm making myself dinner. It creeps me out because he said he cannot guess what she might be doing. He does not notice the eyes staring at him from the shadows. That's terrifying. Dead daddy magic man, go away. Go haunt somebody else that's not your daughter that you quite literally tortured. Go anywhere but here. Thanks. Nobody knows what's going on. I don't know what's going on. I have no idea what they're battling about. Absolutely no goddamn clue. Are you fighting just for bragging rights of your ghost dead daddy body self? Or are you fighting for the circus? Because at one point I thought you both had your own circus, but now I guess it's just all one circus. And I don't know. I'm getting confused. I don't know anything. I would love some answers, please, for God's sakes. He just hit the lamp. Where are you, sir? Hello? Oh, are you in? There he is. I have a chaotic household now. But anyways, while I'm still waiting for my oven to preheat, this is why I don't trust Isabel even more. She meets up with Celia and she asked if Isabel wants to do her tarot thing, and she's like, yeah, sure. And so she's doing her cards, and Celia points out that one of her cards is missing, and Isabel says one of them is somewhere else. And Celia does not question her further. What is up with the tarot card things, hun? Stop being so cryptic. Okay, we're back post-cleaning. Yes, I vacuumed my couch. Do it. There's no law that says you can't. And it's the easiest way to clean, like, cat hair and stuff off of it. Don't tell me how to live my life. I am on page 206. I am devouring this book, I must say. For as much as I'm low-key confused and, like, I didn't think that I was gonna like it, I'm getting through it fairly fast. And I'm still at the section where Celia is with Isabel and they're doing like tarot readings and stuff. And I just read the part where Celia leaves, says Isabel piles the cards and shuffles them back into the deck. Lay Bachelor, I don't know what that says, floats to the top as she shuffles. She frowns at the card before glancing around the cafe. While there are a few scattered bowler hats amongst the patrons, there is no sign of the one she's looking for. She shuffles the magician until the magician is buried deep within the deck and puts her cards away and returns to her book to wait out the rain alone. I was confused at first because when she first met Marco, she pulled the magician card for him and was like, oh, are you a magician? And he's like, sick, yeah. They had the other thing where she pulled the angel card. And I think the angel card has to do with Celia. I haven't really made the connection about like what specifically it is that makes it Celia, but I'm pretty sure that has to do with Celia. And Celia was like, oh, one of your cards is missing. And I wasn't sure if she was talking about the angel card or the magician card. Like, I couldn't remember if like didn't put the magician card back or if she didn't put the angel card back. Like, I knew it was one of those two. Still haven't really answered my question. Like, did the magician card show back up and that's why she was like, oh, is he here? Or is it just like she's obsessed with him and it fell out of the deck, so she's like, oh my gosh, that's a sign he's thinking about me, and like the angel card is missing. Like, I can't decide if like everything that's happening with the cards is like actually a sign or if it's just like a coincidence and she's so obsessed with him that she's making everything relate to him. I don't know what her deal is and what the deal is with that yet. Also, this is my Winx Club shirt. Don't talk to me if you don't like Winx Club. Don't talk to either of us if you don't like Winx Club, huh, baby? There's a good boy. Say hello. Oh, don't eat the book or the phone, please, baby. Little man. Yeah, we don't need to eat the book. He's very happy that I'm not vacuuming anymore. He's not a fan of the vacuum. So now Bailey's at the fortune teller. People need to stop going to the fortune tellers. It's not making anything any better. She's like, oh, I know Poppet. Are you looking for Poppet? He's like, yeah. And now she's like, oh, it's so great that you love the circus because like that's gonna be helpful for you. I don't understand anything. Also, I have to say, up until this point, the timeline of this book has been kind of confusing for me. I'm usually fine with like books that do like past, present, like flips back and forth, but there's so many characters, especially with this being third person and it following like 5 different characters. It's really hard for me to keep track of timelines. I was really confused, like, kind of up until now, what was happening when. Because it's like, you're following, like, 5 different character stories and flipping back and forth between timelines of all 5 of those characters. Especially with it being in third person, it's a little hard to follow sometimes. So that, so far, is kind of my biggest, like, about this book, is I feel like it's a little too much jumpiness sometimes, but we're powering through it. I've definitely like had to reread some chapters or like some scenes and like flip back and forth and like register what dates, because like it has like April 1895. Like I've been having to flip back and forth to beginning of chapters to figure out what timeline I'm on, because that has been confusing me. I'm sorry, did this lady just throw herself in front of a train? What just happened, Daddy? Even he's confused. What's going on? Why? She just threw herself. Don't bite my book, sir. Don't chew on the book. No, thank you. This lady just she threw herself in front of a train. What is going on? Welcome back to my kitchen. We're making mashed potatoes. So she died. I guess she didn't technically walk out in front of the train because she saw Mr. Invisible Magic Dad. So we're at the funeral, and it kind of made me sad. This was really sweet. She said, "I do not mourn the loss of my sister because she will always be with me in my heart. I am, however, rather annoyed that my Tara left me to suffer you lot alone. I do not see as well without her. I do not hear as well without her. I do not feel as well without her. I would be better off without a hand or a leg than without my sister. Then at least she would be there to mock my appearance and claim to be pretty one for change. We have all lost our Tara, but I have lost a part of myself as well." And that made me sad. So we're back at another dinner. Why does all the interesting things happen at dinners? She's sitting with Padva. In my head, that's what it is. They're talking about the gown she's wearing. Padva goes, "Someone cannot keep his eyes off of you, my dear," tilting her glass in the direction of the door where Marco is standing quietly to the side, his hands clasped behind his back. "Perhaps he's admiring your handwork," Celia says without turning. "I would wager he is more interested in the contents of the gown itself." "You're correct, lady. You got it right on the money. Ding, ding, ding. We have a winner." Also, this has nothing to do with the book, but in case you're wondering about the inner workings of my mind, I've had Wrecking Ball by Miley Cyrus stuck in my head all day today. I'm sitting here making my mashed potatoes, singing that I can't sing because I will get copyrighted, but that's what I've been singing. Also, there is a little man attacking my feet and also his brother. The men in question. "Why are you licking your mouth like that?" "Sir, that is my leg." "What are you licking? I didn't give you anything." "Hi. Congrats, you got free feet from me today. I've done my justice to the community." Also, shout out to me for being a home ec queen because I cooked and cleaned today. I've done my womanly duties for myself and myself only. Look at my chicken. That looks gross, obviously, but chicken and potatoes and what will be gravy when it thickens. I can provide for myself. I might be in a healthy, stable relationship, but I can provide for myself. We're back. I was going to keep reading while I was eating dinner, but I made chicken wings and I was gonna get grease all over the pages. So I did not read during dinner, but I'm back to reading. Welcome to my bedroom. Anyways, Celia and Marco flirting and whatnot, and I really like this scene. I've seen you like this before. You've watched my show like that. Do you remember all of your audiences? Not all of them, but I remember people who look at me the way you do. What way might that be? As though they cannot decide if they're afraid of me or if they want to kiss you. "I'm not afraid of you," Marco says. "I love them." And then again, a few pages later, they touch for the first time, which sounds weird, but they just brush hands or whatever. And they have the power transfer. So Marco says, "My apologies, though I cannot say I'm entirely sure what happened. I tend to be particularly sensitive to energy. People who do the sort of things you and I do carry a very palpable type of energy, and I am not accustomed to yours just yet. I only hope that it was as pleasurable of a sensation for you as it was for me." Boy. And just the entire shawl scene, especially the shawl reprieve. "Hi, Mud." Reprieve, where she's "I forgive you for stealing my shawl." It's God damn it, I love you. And then again, it's another dinner party. Marco goes, "It's destroying me that I cannot ask you to dance." Marco whispers as she passes by him in the ballroom, the deep green of her suit seeping across her gown like moss. "Then you are far too easily destructible," Celia murmurs softly, winking at him as Kandresh sweeps by and offers her his arm. I live for their banter. I live, laugh, love them. Don't you, Mud?" "Yeah. Hi, baby boy." "Hi." I'm sorry if all of the audio from here on out has in the background because it's him. "Hi, baby." "Yeah, rub your face on my face." "Hi, good boy." "Let's read." He goes directly to the ballroom, making his way to the center of the dance floor. He takes Celia's arm, spinning her away from Herr Tessin. Marco pulls her to him and in an emerald embrace so close that no distinction remains between where his suit ends and where her gown begins. To Celia, there is suddenly no one else in the room as he holds her in his arms. But before she can vocalize her surprise, his lips close over her and she is lost in wordless bliss. Marco kisses her as they are the only people in the world. The air swirls in the tent around them, blowing open glass doors and garden, and tangle of blowing curtains. Every eye in the crowded ballroom turns in their direction, and then he releases her and walks away. Chandresh, again, I don't know how to say his name, found Marco's weird book of hair. It's focusing on Mud right now. Why is it focusing on you? Whatever, he's the star of the show. Oh, now it's me. But he found Marco's weird, book of hair? That's not weird. Why would you propose to someone after their sister died? Why? Why would you do that? That makes no sense, sir. For as suddenly as I feel like their romance was, I feel like it was 0 to 100. I love them. This is all quite impressive, Mr. Illusionist, she says. Call me by my name, he says. He has never heard her speak his name, and holding her in his arms, he suddenly craves a sound. Please, he adds when she hesitates. Marco, she says in her soft, low voice. The sound of her name on his tongue is even more intoxicating than he had imagined. He leans in to taste it. You're just so romantic, Mudbud. You're so romantic. He just wants to sleep. Bailey is just Mr. Random Guy. He even said he's Mr. Random Guy. What is he gonna do? I don't know how I feel about her character. I'm still waiting for her to do, something bad, I guess. For some reason, she still has me a little on edge. Isabel, I still do not trust. Poppet's warming up to me, but for whatever reason, I still find her, off. But it's also a circus of, people that are magical, so I guess they're all technically off, but whatever. And now Poppet is screaming. That's all Isabel hears, as she's going to pick up a tarot card. Stop dropping your tarot cards. Bad things happen when you drop your tarot cards. Stop doing it. But also, why is everybody screaming? Bad things are happening. Buckle up, babes. Why is Clockman dead? Out of everybody, why did Clock Guy die? Erthesen? What did he do? He's just the clock guy. He's not even magical. He has nothing to do with the circus. I don't understand why he's the one that's dead. I'm confused. It's happening. This isn't a drill. It's happening. Things are happening. Things are happening, Mud. They're progressing as a couple. It's happening. He's unimpressed, but it's happening. It's happening, you guys. It's happening. Who is the other student then? I just assumed, we know that one of them is supposed to die. I assumed it was long enough that, both the former competitors were dead, but one of them's alive. Is it Isabel? Is it Isabel? Is the other student Isabel? Is that why I don't like her? My bet's on Isabel. $20 on Isabel. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong because I'm low-key confused, so it wouldn't surprise me. But I have bets on Isabel. I think Isabel is the other person. Even though, she's, young, though. I don't know. For whatever reason, I think it's Isabel. I might very well be wrong. I was wrong. It was the contortionist lady. That makes sense, because, why would they introduce her as a character if she didn't put anything into the story? But she's also just super cryptic and doesn't help with anything. I still don't understand what the competition is. I don't understand what they're fighting about. Are they trying to, win the circus? Or just bragging rights? I still don't understand, the basis of what's happening. Who, what, where, when, why, how. I don't understand the why. I'm still confused on that front. Also, Mud, you're gonna roll off my lap. Yeah, roll the other way. Good boy. Bailey missed getting to Poppy, so bad things are gonna happen if he was supposed to be there to save the circus and now he's not. I don't know. I'm low-key confused. So Celia's trying to sacrifice herself to end the game. If she dies, the circus dies. So if she's weirdly trapped, then it doesn't, she's trying to save other people, I guess. I'm kind of confused. Also, Marco is gonna do it. This is turning into Romeo and Juliet, where they're both gonna kill themselves when they don't need to. That's what I'm getting. That's the vibes. What is Isabel doing? This is why I don't trust her. She just threw magic stuff at Marco and made him disappear. What did she do? I'm waiting for her to be a villain. I don't trust her. Whatever she's doing, I don't like. I don't like it. So yeah, they're going full Romeo and Juliet and sacrificing themselves together, I guess. I guess that'll work if they just trap themselves in a different realm, like Daddy Magic Man, and the game is over but not, and the circus stays alive. So I guess it's they're fighting over the circus then, is what the competition is. Because whoever their competitor wins, they get the circus, I guess. Because the other person that is dead. I think they're fighting over the circus. I'm still confused about what actually the competition is about, honestly. I really don't understand the basis of this book so far. I'm honestly just here for the romance now. Who are they binding Bailey to? Are they binding him to them? Binding them to them on the other world? Or is he being bound to the circus? What is he being bound to? Can you bind him to an inanimate object such as the circus, or is he binding them to them on the other world? I don't understand what he's being bound to. Also, he found the hair book, the magic hair book that keeps everybody alive for weird reasons. So Poppet's trying to get the deed to the circus, which, like, makes sense, I guess. Did they bind him to Poppet? What did they bind Bailey to? I'm confused. But also, we stand Poppet owning the circus. She deserves it. I don't not trust her anymore. I like her now. I am revising all my former accusations. I like Poppet now. I just don't like her name. The name Poppet, I don't like. You could have just called her Pen if her name was Penelope. Like, Poppet? I don't like that. That's very, like, British, I guess. Which is probably, like, mean for me to say, but oh well. She gave him a kitten. Yeah, Poppet's my favorite now. She gave him a kitten. Like I said last week, we got Mud a new kitten. She's gifting people kittens. She's my favorite person. You giving him a kitten as a gift to keep him company. That is the sweetest thing. You liked it when I gave you a kitten. We love Poppet giving people kittens. We love it. So I guess them sacrificing themselves together-ish works, because it says, is the game finished then? Widget asks, yes and no. He puts down his glass before continuing. Technically, it has fallen into an unforeseen loophole. It has not been properly completed. So, like, this game never ends, so nobody else has to restart it again. They're saving the circus, but it's also, like, no other magic people have to do this anymore, because their game never ended, I guess? Which, like, makes sense, I guess. Okay. Do I like this ending? Yes, but I'm also like, is this supposed to be like a they woke up and everything was a dream thing? Because he wants Widget to tell him a story and he starts, the circus arrives without warning, and that's the first line of this book. Is he telling the tale of the circus, or is it supposed to be like, this whole thing was just Widget's story, it never happened? Am I reading too far into it? Like, is this a Colleen Hoover manuscript situation? Did this actually happen and he's just telling the story of the circus for his story? Or is this didn't happen and we're reading the story that he told the guy for whatever random reason? Is this... I feel like the math meme lady. I don't... I'm on the last page. And, like, as much as I'm like, what does all this mean? I do like the way they ended this. It starts with, like, you as first person where you're going and getting your ticket, and it's ending with you going and getting your ticket. I've been tabbing everything that I've been reacting to. So I do like the way this ended. I'm officially done with this book. We're in here cuddling with Mud, also charging my camera so it doesn't die. Overall thoughts of this book. I liked it. I would say that this is like a 3.5 star for me. I feel like this is a book that I would reread again to pay attention to details. Like, I feel like this is a book that you read the first time to, like, understand the storyline and everything, but you go back and reread it to pay attention to everything else, because there's so many, like, little detail things that I was like, wait, what does this connect to again? Like, I think it would be good to reread it and pay attention to those little things and really, like, understand the timeline. Because that's what I had trouble with, was the timeline. Because it follows so many characters and it jumps back and forth between all of those characters so many times that it got a little, like, mudded up for me occasionally. That's kind of, like, what makes this not, like, a full 4 star for me, is, like, I just sometimes, like, got confused. I liked the story overall. I did. I just felt like it was hard to follow sometimes. Do I like this better than Caravel? Yes. Was this Caravel adjacent in a way to me? Kind of. Caravel, like, I had a hard time following, kind of like this one I did. I don't know if it's obviously, but, like, this is a lot more in depth than what Caravel was. I feel like if there was a second book to this, I would be more apt to read it than I would be to finish the Caravel series. But I don't know if it was necessarily what I expected. I liked the romance in it, but it kind of seemed to come out of nowhere to me sometimes. Like, they went from no interactions to I love you in, like, 2 chapters, which seemed a little forced. Like, I like them and I love them and I want some more of them. It did seem a little just, like, out of nowhere a couple times, because they went from no interaction and him being in love with Isabel to them. But overall, I'm glad I read it. I'm glad that you guys bullied me. I had a lot of you in my comments and my DMs basically, like, saying do a reading vlog of this book specifically. So I'm glad that you guys, like, bullied me into it. Like, bully me into more things, please. Because I feel like this would be a book that, like, I wouldn't have read unless I was doing a reading vlog specifically for this, because was and still is, like, an intimidating book. Like, do you think that I might reread it to try and understand it a little bit more? Is it my new favorite fantasy book? No, but like I'm so glad I read it. And I understand the hype and why other people like it. And I feel like most people that have super loved it and super recommended it have been Caraval fans. So I do understand me not liking it as much. But yeah, that is it for today's reading vlog. I hope you guys enjoyed. Like I said, bully me into more. If there's other specific books you want to see me do, genres, let me know. Yell at me. I'll do it. I'm easily persuaded. Let me know your opinions on Night Circus. How did you feel? Do you also think that it's Caraval-esque in vibeness? Thank you for hanging out with me. I love and appreciate you so much. If you want to follow me on any of my social medias, they will be down below in the description box and on my home screen channel banner. Down below is also my Amazon wish list. If you want to send me any books that are on there, I would greatly appreciate it, and I'll do some unboxings for you. Down below is also my PangoBooks. If you want to buy mine or other people's used books, it's a cheaper way of filling up your physical TBR. But yeah, I love and appreciate you so much. Please stay safe, and I'll see you guys somewhere else on the internet. Bye. Say bye, Mud. Bye.